हेलो, गुड मॉर्निंग। बायोस्पेक्ट्रम एकेडमी के यूट्यूब चैनल और ऑनलाइन वीडियो सीरीज में आपका जो है कि स्वागत है। So everybody is welcome on the Biospectrum Academy's YouTube channel, so where we try to provide the informations for the prospective students from the science background for various M.Sc and PhD programs, and those students also who are preparing for the competitive exams like the JAM, GATE, and NET-JRF exams. Today, I'm going to present about the prospective futures for those students who have completed their BSc in sciences. I'm from the biological science background, so I will be talking about the biology background basically. But the same information can be utilized and it will be very beneficial for the students of the science background from other streams as well, like from the mathematics, physics, chemistry, or computer sciences. If you have completed your BSc or BTech in sciences or in biotech and life sciences, and you are not sure what next should be your plan, or if you want to do MSc in biotechnology or life sciences, and you want to do a quality PhD and research to become a scientist or researcher in future, and you want to do this PhD in India with a JRF Junior Research Fellowships or fully funded PhD fellowship from abroad. If these are your plans, these are your goals, then you should look no other place but TIFR or ISC Bangalore. But before I go and explain the reason why you should look for TIFR or ISA Bangalore, let me introduce myself. I'm Imtiaz Ahmed, and I am a master graduate in life sciences from School of Life Sciences, JNU, from the 2001-2003 batch. And then in 2003, I joined School of Life Sciences, JNU, as a MPhil PhD student. Also, then I had some time in TIFR, and then I had some break from the research and academics. And then later I joined the PhD program of the ICGB in 2011 up to the 2016. I secured the All India Rank 2 in the School of Life Sciences MPhil PhD admission test in 2003. Then in my MPhil PhD first semester program, I achieved the highest grade point, 8.83/9.0, that is the maximum one in MPhil first semester courses. And that is in the history of the SLS JNU MPhil PhD program, that was the highest GPA. I also secured an All India Rank 1 in TIFR Graduate Studies Entrance Exam 2004. And then I also qualified many times CSER JRF, notably in June 2009, June 2004, and then June and December 2003. Since 2017, I have been working as a molecular biology, developmental biology, and genetics faculty at DAMS Life Sciences. DAMS stands for Delhi Academy of Medical Sciences, and they had this like a life sciences venture in 2017. So I was like a pioneer faculty there. But because of the corona, the things got derailed. So in May 2021, I started my own academy, Biospectrum Academy, as a director and principal mentor. In the very short span of these 5 or 6 months, the Biospectrum Academy has achieved certain success, and from a very small number of students also. It's a very humble beginning, but we could achieve a very welcoming results or maybe success, so you can say. So this is the student Pooja Joshi, who graduated the MSc from Jamia Millia Islamia, and then she joined my academy in May 2021. And then she appeared for the DBT BIT 2021 exam, and she qualified the JRF category 1. The second student is Sajjad. He is also from the Jamia Millia Islamia University, and he also joined in the same batch into May 2021, and then he also qualified the DBT JRF category 1. Another student from Bhimrao Ambedkar University, Lucknow, he joined in May, but because of his MSc dissertation and some end semester exams, so he discontinued for 1.5 months or something. Then he again joined in maybe in end of the August or maybe in the very beginning of the September. And then he did not appear for the DPT exam, but he appeared for the Hyderabad Central University exam. He qualified the entrance examination. Then I had 2 students qualified basically from that group. They were being given, lots of mock interview training. That mock session was very fruitful, and one of the students, this Ashwini, finally got the PhD admission offer from the Hyderabad Central University. Now he has taken the admission in the Hyderabad Central University PhD program. So he's now SCU student. So now I invite the all other prospective students to come and join us to script your own success story here. Okay, so let's get back to the point that if you have completed your BSc or BTech in biotechnology or life sciences, and if you want to do a MSc or maybe integrated PhD, then why you should choose the TIFR or ISC Bangalore. Okay. So the very first thing that the TIFR was developed by Homi Jahangir Bhabha, and the funding was done by the Sir Dorabji Tata and Jawaharlal Nehru, the then Prime Minister. He took a lot of interest to build and establish this institute. So it was like a dream project of the Homi Jahangir Bhabha to build a Oxford-like research institutes in India. TIFR is a perfect place for exchange of scientific ideas between mathematics, computer science, natural sciences, and biological sciences. You should go and visit the website of this institute, and then you should also read about this institute on Wikipedia as well to get more information. So what is the most important thing about the TIFR is that's very important to you basically. Most of the MSc graduates from here end up doing PhD from the best, or I would say the Ivy League universities in USA and Europe. And here is the the web URL link. You can do the Google search also. These are the top, the best university in the world in the field of life sciences or biological sciences. So let's have a look at these universities. So this is the topuniversities.com. You can the same URL link you can use, and then you can search on the Google, and then you'll get a list of the best institutes, or maybe the medical school or biological schools of the universities in the world in terms of the ranking. That's what we call the QS ranking. So as you can see here, the number 1 is Harvard University, then MIT, then University of Cambridge, Stanford University, Oxford University, University of California. There are so many University of California. And then at the 7th number in the Europe, now you see in the Europe, or maybe there was Oxford also and Cambridge also from the Europe. And then on the 7th, you see the ETH, Switzerland. It is in the Switzerland. There is a ETH and there is EPFL also. So of course, ETH is higher in ranking. The Einstein also worked at the ETH, and there are so many Nobel laureates from the ETH also. Then Yale University, California, then California again, University of California, then Cornell University, Imperial College London, then University College London, and there is another one, the King's College London, but probably that is lower in the ranking. Then University of Toronto, the University of Tokyo, and the National University of Singapore. So the people who are in India, if they want to go to only in Asia, or maybe not to go too far from India, then the Singapore would be a best place to do a quality PhD or maybe quality research with a handsome fellowship also. Then University of California, and then Princeton University, Columbia University, Edinburgh University, Kyoto in Japan, and the Chicago University, University of Copenhagen in Denmark, and the LMU University in Germany, in Munich. Similarly, there are many other universities like University of Texas, University of Florida. There are many other universities. These are the only top 25 universities. If you go in the top 100 universities, there will be so many other universities. So what is the proof that the students from these places like the ISC Bangalore or maybe TIFR, go to these places. You can do a research on their alumni, from those courses. This is the TIFR Graduate Studies Admission Program, basically. So there is a lot of information. So the very first thing here you should look at why the TIFR is important. Two things. The one thing, you will, after the MSc, you will end up to the Ivy League universities for your PhD. And second thing, that during the MSc here in TIFR, you will get a very handsome fellowship also. See, there are not many other universities in India who offer a fellowship for your MSc program. So for example, if you do an MSc here, for example, this one, MSc in biology, then you get a handsome fellowship of 16,000 rupees per month. And if you do an MSc in wildlife biology, or let's say ecology, then you get a 12,000 rupees per month, 12,000 rupees per month. So here you get a 12,000 rupees per month. If you do the integrated PhD in any of the science courses in this TIFR, then you will get a 21,000 rupees per month plus the hostel accommodation or HRA. So it is, if you are in Mumbai, it is always sensible to have the hostel rather than having the HRA, because in the Mumbai your accommodation will be much more costly. And then after the second year, you will get a 31,000 rupees per month. And after you pass a comprehensive examination and you are registered for a PhD, then you will get a fellowship of 35,000 rupees. So the minimum eligibility criteria for this integrated PhD and for the MSc biology is your BSc. So if you have completed already your BSc, you are eligible to apply to these programs and appear for their entrance exam. If you qualify their entrance exam, so the first thing is your entrance exam. If you qualify this one, then you will be asked to write a little bit, one page of write-up, or maybe I'll say the research idea. And if that one also clicked, then you will be invited for the interview. And if you also qualify this interview also, then you'll become the MSc or integrated PhD student of the TIFR, and then you will start enjoying the hands-on fellowship per month from there. So the institutes provide the fellowship itself. So every month you get the fellowship in your account. So nothing to worry about, the like CSIR or maybe DBT that you have to activate, and then you have to wait for the fellowship maybe for 6 months or maybe 1 year. So this is the advantage of the TIFR. And now after this, what you have to look at, what I said, that the students from this generally ends up going to the Ivy League universities in the world. So what is the proof? So this is the TIFR website. There are so many institutes of the TIFR at different places or different cities in India. So 2 or 3 of them are very, for the biological sciences, the TIFR, in the TIFR there is the Department of Biological Sciences. The best one is the National Center for Biological Sciences in Bangalore. And then probably the TIFR Hyderabad also has some biological sciences also. And then this is the Homi Bhabha Center for Science Education. Basically, it is like doing B.Ed in science. Or you want to study the science of, you want to study the history and the pedagogy of the science. So then you can do a PhD from there also. It is still in Mumbai. And this is one of the also the great institutes. Basically, they conduct the Olympiads in India. Basically, they participate, or they are organizers of the Olympiads in India. And there are other also, but of course, this is one of them. If you go to some of these faculties profile, their the web page, then you can look at their past lab members or their alumni. So and then you can see where they have landed up after doing the masters from the TIFR. So some of those faculty I know personally. So here is a one scientist. So the Kaushika lab, if you can see here, this lady, the Sandhya Kaushika. You look at the lab of this lady, then you can see the people, the former lab member. So now the people who did the postdoctoral, or the people who did the PhD, and the people who did the MSc in her lab. So you can see here this girl who did the MSc here, now she is doing PhD in Chicago. The person is doing in LMU. You have seen a little bit, little while ago about the Ludwig Maximilian University in Munich, Germany. Okay, now this one it is in Belgium. It is in Belgium. It's KU University in Belgium. So now this person is doing PhD in Belgium. Similarly, if you look at some other faculties profile, like this one, this is another scientist, Shobha Tole. You can see here. So in her lab also you can see some of the alumni who did the masters from this lab. So you scroll down and then here you see the alumni. And so these are the postdoctoral students, and then the summer students, former students, probably the PhD, and then you see here MSc. So these are the MSc students who did the MSc from her lab in TIFR Mumbai, Bombay. Now see, after the MSc, the student is doing PhD at the University of Texas. Students doing the PhD from FMI in Basel. This is also one of the best institute in Switzerland. After the Zurich, ETH Zurich, this is one of the best one. And similarly, you see here this one, Dhananjay Chaturvedi, the PhD at University of Texas, and then they're doing PhD in Cornell University. And after the PhD, he is doing the postdoc at the Whitehead Institute, and the PhD in the Drexel University, and then the postdoc in Columbia University. After the master's here, they're doing did the PhD in University of Texas, and then this guy, after the MSc, did the PhD from Germany, and then probably a postdoc at the Caltech. And this student, after the MSc, did the PhD from the TIFR itself, and then the postdoc in University of California, San Francisco. And this student did the PhD from IGB-MC France. And this is also one of the great research institutes in France. And then some other things. And this student also did the PhD from TLL Singapore. So you can see so many students after doing MSc from here, they are ending up to some of the best institutes or research universities in the world. Similarly, if you look at this another lab, the Vidita Vaidya, I know her also. So these are the alumni from her labs, basically. So what you can see here, this is the student who did the MSc, and then the MSc, and then PhD from the Cornell University, and the postdoc from the Emory University. Similarly, you see this student who did the MSc from TIFR, and then PhD from the University of Rochester in USA. And then this student did the MSc from TIFR and then the PhD from the Duke University, and then he became the research student at the Yale University. And so you can see there are lots of, these alumni. You will see the students from TIFR, they basically end up doing PhD from the best institutes in India. Best institutes in the world, basically. And of course, some people do, they continue to do the PhD at the TIFR itself. And of course, after doing the PhD from TIFR also, you can go to the best universities or the research institutions in the world. Similarly, you can look at the ISC Bangalore also. If you have completed the BSc, then in ISC Bangalore, you can apply for the integrated PhD program. And in the integrated PhD program also, you will get the same kind of fellowship. Like if you are like a BSc, and then you can apply for this integrated PhD program. In ISC also, you will get the same amount of fellowship for the integrated PhD. There you can see here the fellowship. It will be in the first year, it will be 16,000, and in the second year, it will be 31,000. And after the your comprehensive examination, and then when you will be registered as a PhD student, then you will get a 35,000 rupees. So for the TIFR, there is a little bit advantage. that here in ISC you will get a 16,000, but in the TIFR you will get a 21,000. If you remember, in here for the integrated PhD you will get a 21,000 rupees per month. So that is some 5,000 rupees extra. Mumbai is a little bit costlier than Bangalore, so that probably will help you to adjust the expenses in Mumbai. So today I will end the video here. So I hope you find these informations to your good help, and probably it will motivate you to prepare for the TIFR examination. For the MSc Biology or the integrated PhD, anyone you want, I would recommend you to go for the MSc Biology rather than integrated PhD, because for the integrated PhD you have to stay in TIFR for maybe 5 or 6 years. For the MSc you have to stay there 3 years, and after the MSc in TIFR you can land up doing PhD maybe from the Oxford or maybe the MIT or maybe Harvard, and then you will earn the PhD fellowship in dollars, maybe $3,000, $2,500 per month. So and then you will get the training little bit better than TIFR, of course, for the PhD, little bit better than TIFR. But depending on if you are ending up in those Ivy League universities like the Harvard or maybe the University of California or maybe University of Texas. But if you end up doing PhD in USA or maybe in Germany, maybe some B category or C category universities, and just to name, that you are in a abroad university and you are getting a hands-on fellowship, but the overall rating of the academic rating is not better than 30 TIFR, then of course you won't have a better training, but of course you will have a good fellowship. So that will be one advantage. But if you get the best research institutes or university in USA, and then you get a handsome fellowship also, then it will be win-win situation. So right now, at this moment, I would like to end this video, and let me know with your comments. And if you need any kind of more information or guidance, you can always write to me. Here is, if you remember in the very first slide, this is my email ID of the Biospectrum Academy, and this is the WhatsApp number. There you can send me messages also. Okay, and if you want to get trained how to qualify, what to study, and how to approach for this examination, you are very welcome to join the next the batch. Okay, thank you and have a very good day, and best of luck to all of those audience who are watching this video. Thank you. Have a good day.